On behalf of Boone County, Illinois, Growth Dimensions welcomes you to this Enterprise Zone presentation, where property owners, project leads, contractors, and subcontractors will go through the step-by-step process of completing the Belvidere-Boone County Enterprise Zone application. Page 1 supplies us with all of the project information. We'll start under the Enterprise Zone information. The name of the Enterprise Zone project, or EZ project, is what your business refers to the project as. If you do not have a project name, you can simply put what the project is for. For instance, if ABC Inc. is building a chocolate factory, you can name it ABC New Factory Chocolate Factory. The EZ project address is the location where the project is taking place in Boone County. Sometimes, if a project is occurring on undeveloped property, an address may not be known. In this case, we will rely solely on the property identification number. Once an address is assigned, we will update documents as needed. The EZ property identification number is the property number, also called the parcel number. To find this, you can click on Find Your PIN on the application. If you are still unsure of where to find your PIN, Growth Dimensions can look it up for you. The description of the Enterprise Zone project reflects the scope of work occurring on a project. For instance, if we continue to use ABC's chocolate factory, it could be described as new construction of chocolate factory with production line and offices. The project classification tells whether the project is for industrial purposes or commercial. Please note, if the project is the result of relocation, you will need to provide the city and state of the previous location. We will also need to know a date that you estimate for the completion of the project. It's okay if the actual date of the finished project is prior to or after the date given. This simply helps us determine the timeline of the project. We also ask that you provide the total square feet that are expected to be added as a result of a new building, expansion, or renovation. Finally, Growth Dimensions will get the building permit issue date from the municipality's building department. Under the business or property owner information, the legal name is the business that is receiving the project work. In some instances, the business is not the property owner. In those instances, Growth Dimensions will have a separate conversation about who should be considered the applicant in this section. The business address can be the address where the project is occurring. Others use a business's corporate office address. The federal employer identification number is the tax number associated with the applicant. If a business uses an unemployment identification number, please include that on the application as well. A business's NAICS code identifies the business's business type. You can use the link on the application to find your NAICS code. Growth Dimensions can also assist in finding the correct code for your business. At the bottom of the business or property owner information section, please include the business or property owner's name, email address, and phone number. This can also be a designated representative of the business. If there is someone other than the owner or designee that is the main contact, please also list that information. Then, the form needs to be signed and dated by the property or business owner. Under the business employment estimates, the project is a renovation or expansion. If it is a renovation or expansion, please list the number of full-time equivalent, also referred to as FTE workers, working at that site prior to construction. On the next line, please put how many new FTE workers you plan to hire at this location. Next, place the number of FTE workers you plan to retain. Typically, it is the same as the current number listed at the top of this section, plus any new employees. Page 2 is filled out by any parties purchasing materials for the project. The general contractor typically submits this in tandem with page 1. The general contractors are asked to provide the overall estimates for the entire project. We then use these estimates to submit the project to the state of Illinois. All subcontractors and other parties purchasing materials for a project must complete and submit page 2 for the job that they are completing. Each party involved in the project, meaning the property owner, contractor, and subcontractors, receive their own certificate. They cannot be used by any other entity than the one that is named on the certificate. Please note, the property owner will receive a copy of all contractor and subcontractor certificates for their records. And then under contractor, subcontractor information, you will fill in the business name, address, FEIN, UIN, where applicable, the contractor or subcontractor's name, email, and phone number, along with how many workers or laborers they will have on the job. Next, the cost estimates are where we see the most questions. We'll talk through each line item. First, the project will be marked by the general contractor. All subcontractor work will be marked as job. Under contractor, subcontractor costs, please separate the labor costs from the contract amount. In our reporting, we are required to show what percentage of the contract goes to labor costs. For instance, if your full contract amount is estimated to be $6,250,000 and $1,250,000 of that is labor, you would separate out $5 million for contract amount and $1,250,000 for estimated construction labor costs. Under capital costs, you will break down the estimated contract amount into categories. Note that you may not need to use all categories. The estimated cost of new construction is for any building materials that will be used on a new structure or expansion onto an existing structure. Estimated cost of renovation, rehabilitation takes into account building materials being used to enhance, repair, or remodel an existing structure. This can be internal or external work on a structure. For instance, replacing interior and exterior doors or repairing a roof would be considered renovation or rehabilitation. Site improvements refers to any work done on the site's land, such as asphalt, concrete, landscaping, etc. Capital equipment is large equipment that is affixed to the property and that assists in the production or sustainability of goods or services. Examples of these are large walk-in coolers, generators, and HVAC systems. And then you'll see that items B through F are added up to give you the total estimated capital investment. Next is the estimated amount of sales tax exemption. Here, you will put the estimated cost of all qualifying materials that will be purchased for the project or job. Qualifying materials are those that will be permanently affixed to the property, site, and or structure. The capital costs do not necessarily reflect the estimated costs of these materials, since some of the purchased materials may not be affixed to the property. For a list of eligible materials, please visit the Growth Dimensions website or call us at 815-547-4252. You will then notice we use Boone County's sales tax rate of 8.25% as the estimate for the Illinois sales tax exemption savings. This amount could be more or less depending on where in the state of Illinois you purchase materials. Moving on to the fee calculation. This is the processing fee paid to Growth Dimensions for administering the benefits of the enterprise zone. The fee is only 0.5% of the qualified building material costs. The fee will never exceed $50,000 per project. If a fee calculates to more than $50,000, anything over that amount is not owed. Many times the general contractor will pay the fee when the initial estimates are submitted. However, we have had instances where another party will pay the fee. Therefore, please be sure to name the responsible party for the fee. Please also note that before any building material exemption certificates are processed, this fee must be received. Finally, we have come to the end of the application. This is where the contractor or subcontractor will sign and date the application. Once submitted to Growth Dimensions, we will process the application and produce a building materials exemption certificate for the applicant. You can submit the application via email to office@growthdimensions.org, or you can mail it or drop it off in person to Growth Dimensions at 982 Belvidere Road, Belvidere, Illinois, 61008. Please note that a building permit must first be obtained before processing the application and receiving the building materials exemption certificate. Thank you for taking the time to learn about completing and submitting the Belvidere-Boone County Enterprise Zone application. Should you have any additional questions, we invite you to visit the Growth Dimensions website at growthdimensions.org, or please reach out to us at 815-547-4252 or email us at office@growthdimensions.org.